Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what is holding me back? And a lot of times you can answer that within a second or two, right? You know exactly what's holding you back. You know, it's probably something somebody told you when you were younger, and something you believed, right? Something you thought that identified yourself as that kind of person, right? And, you know, even explaining yourself to somebody, when someone says you explain yourself, you identify yourself as certain different things. That way people can typically, you know, get an understanding of the type of person that you are, right? But when you ask what's holding you back, you've identified yourself as something negative, right? And typically someone might actually think that you're shy. And I know myself growing up, right? People told me that you must be a shy kid, right? And I was never a shy kid. I don't feel like I was ever a shy kid, right? I could actually talk to people. Talking to people wasn't the issue, right? The biggest thing was I grew up in a day and age where, you know, if you didn't have anything important to say, you just didn't say it, right? So, and I've always been an observer and seeing how people interact with different in conversation and stuff like that. And so to find what's holding you back, you really have to look at that question and you know the answer to it, and what is holding you back. And when you answer that question, you know, write that question down, write your answer down. This is what's holding me back. Now write down, you know, 2 or 3 solutions to that problem. What's going to help you get over that problem? You know, a lot of times when, you know, I had a lot of confidence issues when I was younger, and mainly because of my weight, right? I was a really big kid when I was young, and one of the biggest things I noticed at a young age was, you know, people used to always pick on me. It didn't matter what I did, I was always picked on for being the big kid. And it was hard, right? To try to build confidence that way, you know, at one point you just have to say, well, I'm not going to identify myself as that, right? That's not who I am. You know, physically, yeah, okay, maybe I may be a big kid, but that doesn't define who I am, right? That shouldn't make me, you know, deter me from doing those things that I want to do, or even, you know, think that I'm this person, identify as somebody that's shy, when in fact I'm not, when I know I'm not, right? If there's something that needs to get done, I get up and I do it, and I'll talk to the person and I'll work things out, right? I won't be that person that shy and secluded and afraid to say something. I'm more than willing to say something if something comes up. And so that's the biggest thing, is find what's holding you back and stop identifying yourself and make it something that you're going to be aware of, right? When you feel like you are doing it, when you're identifying yourself as that thing that's holding you back, you know, you need to step outside that boundary, however it is, and challenge yourself, push yourself to do that, right? Because you know what it is, you know what the answer is. You need to get out there and challenge it. And the more you do that, you start realizing that you're not identifying yourself as this anymore. You start becoming a more confident person, and you start achieving more and going out and doing more, because now, you know, you did that one little thing. You stopped identifying yourself as whatever it is because you felt like that was, you know, holding you back. And for the longest time, I think for myself, you know, I would allow myself to identify myself as these things, and when I just didn't care anymore, right? I got tired of it. You know, I would hear it almost every day that I was, you know, the fat kid, I was, you know, the shy kid. And after a while, I just didn't care, right? You end up tuning that out and say, no, that's not who I am. I do not identify as that. Maybe physically that is my characteristic. Maybe people may assume that I'm shy just because I'm quiet. And I'm not, right? It's when you choose to identify yourself as those things that other people are trying to identify you as. And that can really hold you back. That can really stop you from doing a lot of things, because I know a lot of people are afraid of what other people think because of this identification that we do. And a lot of times it's automatic, right? A lot of times we don't realize we're doing this until we are to become aware of it. we trap ourselves and hold ourselves back because we identify as this thing, and then we find other things to gravitate towards, right? The other things that identify us and hold us back, because that's just part of our personality, right? Or at least that's what we think. When we stop identifying that and removing that identification, and just be who you are, be happy with who you are. There's nothing wrong with who you are. And that's just the biggest thing. That's how you're going to gain confidence. It's how you're going to become a better person and challenge yourself to want to do more and go outside of your comfort zone, because you stop identifying as these things that people have told you through your whole life. And I've fluctuated in my weight, so I wasn't always the fat kid, but as a kid I was for a good majority. From elementary into middle school and even some high school, I was still a chubby kid. And so I dealt with that essentially through my whole childhood. And then even as adults, I've been overweight, and there's things, right? We all get emotional about these things, and we have this attachment to it. And it's when we give up this identification and say, it doesn't matter what you say, right? You really have to get over what people say, their opinions. People get upset, people get jealous about things, and they may be going through something too, and their easiest way to blow off steam is to let you take the grunt of it, right? And so you just have to try to keep that in the back of your mind and continue to push yourself and remove that identification and allow yourself to be who you truly are. And this in itself allows you to be a more confident person, because you're not identifying yourself as anything. You're just who you are. I'm just Marcus. That's who I am. Do I go rock climbing? No. Do I identify as a rock climber? No. But would I do it? Sure, why not? I'd try it. Would I identify as all these other things? I call myself a vegan, but I don't identify as a vegan. It's just the way I eat, right? It's just something you do. I know identification is easier for people to understand where you're coming from, but we still have to remember we're all unique. For whatever reasons, we choose to go down certain paths, so be it. But to ultimately be your best self is to believe in who you are. That's not identifying yourself. And I know sometimes that can be hard, because again, we gravitate towards those things that we can easily identify, so other people understand where we're coming from. But in fact, as somebody asks who you are, what do you enjoy? It's just, well, I enjoy to go to work out. I enjoy, eating plant-based meals. I enjoy going out and spending time with friends and hanging out and doing things like this. These are things we do. We shouldn't have to identify yourself as I'm a vegan, or I'm an athlete, or I am this, I am that. And a lot of times we hold on to these identities, and sometimes when they get pulled away for out of our control, right? Like, say I go to the gym tomorrow, my leg breaks. Well, then maybe it's I pull out my back and I break my back for whatever random reason, right? These things are very random, but they can happen. What if it happened? What if I couldn't be an athlete anymore? Then that would devastate me, because I tied my identity up to that one thing. And it works the same way when you identify yourself as being overweight or shy or all these other different things, and you think there's restrictions because of that identification. And that's ultimately what's going to be. That's ultimately what's going to take down your confidence. It's ultimately going to do all these different things and essentially have this butterfly effect through your whole life, because you continuously do this. You identify something, and then this thing that you're identifying has restrictions, when in fact you absolutely have no restrictions. You can do whatever it is you want. And so this video, I hope, helps you guys into becoming more confident. I know for myself, I struggled with confidence issues so much as a young kid, and to this day, I'm a good majority of the time, I am very confident in what I can do, right? I've been through a lot, I've put myself through a lot, and proven to myself that I can do it. And that's ultimately what you have to do as well, is just put yourself to the test and continue to push yourself and show that you can do it. Build that confidence in yourself that you can do whatever it takes. Yeah, there's tips and tricks that can help, But ultimately, I think there's a root problem, right? There's somebody that told you something at some point in your life, and you identified as that, and there's restrictions on that. And again, that's where it all falls apart. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button on the way out. Until next time, I will see you guys later.